Everyone, let's welcome Terry and his fiancée, Michelle, to the Maury Show. Now, Terry knows that the story that he and Michelle are about to tell may sound cruel. It may make them the most unpopular people on the show today. But for Terry, it is simply the search for the truth. You see, backstage is a 46-year-old man named Mike. And Mike claims he is Terry's biological son. But Terry and Michelle not only say that Mike is not Terry's child, they accuse Mike and his wife, Sarah, of being scammers who are trying to steal their money. Watch.
I called the show because this guy, Mike, will not leave me and Michelle alone. He is so convinced that I'm his father, but I'm not.
Mike and his wife, Sarah, are money-hungry gold diggers. They are low-life scammers who are trying to take advantage of us. I know for a fact Terry is not Mike's father.
If I was Mike's father, his mother would have had to be pregnant for 15 months. It's impossible. Mike's mother wouldn't even allow me to be part of his life. When I met him 7 years ago, all of my doubts were confirmed. He looks nothing like me.
All of Terry's kids are smart, hardworking, and ambitious. Mike is a slob and a loser who can't even keep a job at 46 years old. When we prove that Terry is not Mike's father, he and Sarah can find someone else to live off of.
Okay. So certain he's not yours. Why?
It was 15 months from the last time I even seen his mother,
Right.
until he was born.
Uh-huh.
Somehow that doesn't
That
work.
would set a record, right?
That's kind of my thought.
By the way, what did his wife tell you?
They came over for a weekend visit.
Right.
And they stood in the hallway of my house, Mike in the front, and Sarah informed me that when Terry passes away, I need to pack my bags because they were taking my house and my truck. I'm sorry, if that's not gold digging, I don't know what is.
Let's go way back. You admit that you and his mother were together
For 3 weeks.
3 weeks. But here's what happened. I guess you were, like 16 years old, something like that?
Exactly.
16 years old when you were seeing her for those 3 weeks, right?
Yes, I was 16. She was 18.
Right. And so then when you became 18, what happened?
I was told that I had to sign a paper or go to jail.
Oh, because they were saying that you were the father of this child.
Correct.
Right.
And at 18 years old, I don't know the law.
You know about jail.
I'm scared. I know about jail.
Right.
I don't want no part of that.
Right.
But
So-
prior to that, another family member was accused of being the father and refused to go to court, so now we land on
So
Terry.
here's what happened. You signed the piece of paper. So would I, by the way. I ain't going to jail for that.
Exactly.
You signed the paper. The problem is that paper obligated you to pay child support. You've paid $10,000 in legal fees trying to undo that piece of paper.
Over 10,000.
Right. And $70,000 in child support.
Exactly. I supported somebody else's kid.
How long ago was the first time you saw him?
About 5 years ago,
About 5,
give or
6
take.
years ago, yes.
Okay. You see him for the first time. What do you think?
Well, we met up at a fair thing. They were playing music, stuff like that. Walked around looking for him, and I couldn't find him. Well, come to find out, I walked right past him twice.
And your son TJ is here, right?
Exactly, yes.
Does he feel a connection to Mike?
No.
Zero.
No.
And they're after money.
Oh,
And they're
yes, absolutely.
So we're going to meet Sarah and Mike, but before we bring them out, here's what their story is like.
My whole life, my mom always told me that Terry was my father. He's the one that actually found me 7 years ago. The first time I met him, I knew he was my father. We had a really strong connection. That's why it hurts when he doubts me.
My heart breaks because my husband grew up without a dad. Terry was accepting of Mike when they first met. But now Michelle is brainwashing him into thinking he is not Mike's father.
Michelle also got his son TJ believing it now.
These people should be ashamed of themselves. When the DNA comes back saying that Terry is the father, Michelle better back off and let Terry be a father to his son.
Wow. Mike and Sarah, here they are. Hi, Mike. How are you? Hi, Sarah.
You're doing good, man.
Have a seat right here.
You want to get in
Sit
my
right
face
here.
and you call yourself a man? You're nothing but more than a child.
What are you?
Hold on. Mike, they think you're using them.
Why would I be using them?
I don't-
We have no reason to be using them.
Really? Do you ask them for money?
No, I have never asked either one of these two for money.
Right.
Yeah, I maybe once in a while I ask him for help on a vehicle or something, but most of the time, he makes me do all the damn work.
So Sarah, nice to see you. You ever tell Michelle that she's out when he dies and you're
No,
moving in?
I didn't.
No?
No.
Really? You stood in my hallway and told me that with Mike in front of you. I turned and looked at Terry and he shook his head and gave me permission to go off on you, which is what I did.
I
So
never
nice
said
try.
that to you in your house.
Yes, you
Never
did.
said. No, I didn't.
Yes, because then
No,
you
I didn't.
Really? Then why do you call Terry and say, is Michelle awake? That's the reason why you two are not welcome in my house, is because of what you said.
We called to talk to Terry because that's Mike's father.
Nice try. Keep looking.
Okay. So Mike, it was tough growing up without a father, right?
Right.
It was. And what did your mother tell you?
My mother always told me that Terry was my father from the time I was born.
You think you look like him?
Yes.
You do.
You're named after another family member and you think he's your dad?
Did you have a connection when you saw him for the first time at the fair?
Yes, I did.
He says he walked past you twice, didn't recognize you.
Because he never came around. He really didn't look hard enough.
I was
out
never
there.
allowed to come around.
I know, it was not my fault.
I was
My
thrown
family
off
was
your,
the one
I
who
was
was always
thrown off your
kicking
mother's
it.
property.
Sarah, you think Terry would accept Mike as his child if it wasn't for Michelle?
I think so. I think a whole lot. Because he was very accepting of Mike in the beginning.
And then what happened?
And then when Shell came back into the picture, it started pulling away. He started pulling away.
Right.
Because Michelle stood up for him. I gave him the confidence to accept the truth.
It was Terry that seeked Mike out. Mike wasn't even
if you
trying
have a
to find
child
him.
out there that you assume is yours, you don't just walk away from him. You try and look for him until you can find the truth.
But you guys don't know the truth yet.
Hey, here's TJ. TJ, come on out. Nice to see you. TJ, sit over there, pal. All right, TJ, good to see you. All right. How do you come down on this?
I don't think he looks like any of our siblings.
None.
Not my sister, my brother. We all look very similar. I don't believe he's my brother.
You think he's trying to use your father?
In a way, yeah. I know that he's always asking for help. He's always asking for
Yeah, but
things.
even if I was asking for help, TJ, you accepted it at first. I got a brother on my mom's side of the family that doesn't even look like me. That is my half-brother on my mom's side. How can you say anything other than that?
He's my half-sister. We look identical.
I have no problem with it.
Okay. We're going to have the answer now. Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
Okay. In the case of 46-year-old Mike, Terry, you are the father. Michelle,
Yes.
you have anything to say?
No, I want to.
I'm sorry, brother. It's okay, man. You just don't look at that.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Have you been told that you're the father, but fear you're actually raising another man's child? Please call us right now at 1-888-45-MAURY to speak with someone from our show about taking a DNA test. Thanks for watching, everybody. Now, if you want to see more Maury content, click here. And be sure to subscribe to be the first to know about new videos.